A man, a hero, a
The
Marine.
space of a fallen
In the
soldier.
burning desert of Afghanistan.
These are just words,
Jerry Evans.
just an assignment,
Javier Jr. Sanchez.
just essays.
I didn't know how to start or how to introduce myself.
My legs can barely hold me up from how nervous I
I
was.
type in the name David Sanka. A picture of a solemn-faced Marine in full uniform stares back at me.
Very first sentence. What does it do for you?
In Rachel Blue Ankney's first-level English class at the Community College of Aurora,
Okay, what connects with you?
she told her students to find the family of a fallen soldier and tell their story.
My professor had told us about this assignment, and I thought she was crazy.
I didn't want to do it, honestly.
All right, it's democracy, that wins. Okay.
But Ankney wanted to push her students to find out more about the men and women who died for our country.
And I wanted them to have an opportunity to actually take their writing and make it bigger than just a class assignment.
The first thing I noticed was a big chest in the middle of the living room, filled with pictures.
I found that David Sanka did in fact have a very fulfilling and active life apart from his job.
Danny cherished family the most.
He wed his high school sweetheart, Tori Nicole Sanka, in 2009.
Tori Sanka.
You know, it helps me kind of grieve in the fact that I can remember him and share who he was.
She appreciates that people want to know about the man she loves.
They're more than just Marines or soldiers. They're people and students and dog lovers.
Corporal David Sanka was a multi-purpose canine handler. He and his dog Flex were killed 6 months ago in Afghanistan.
It's important that he's always remembered, not just by me and my family and his family, but others too.
Or have you ever met a person that was entirely forgiving, loyal, comedic,
I
gentle?
learned about a man I never met and a man I never thought I would meet.
They wrote about strangers.
Volunteer firefighter before joining the Army as an infantryman.
He wrote about a friend.
He was a man I looked up to.
Sergeant Jerry Evans Jr. was the team leader for Phil Dizon
When I got out, I kind of tried to forget everything.
when he wrote this paper.
He was a phenomenal person, dedicated father, great friend, and amazing soldier.
It kinda helped.
It's really important to me to tell this story because when I came back from Afghanistan, people didn't know we were even still over there.
People
Maybe I should go back and look at the paper more closely.
in this class.
Funny how I wrote this for you. Now it seems in a weird way that I have actually written it for myself.
I, for one, take so much stuff for granted, and I don't stop to think about other people, much less the people who are overseas fighting for us.
I have a whole new perspective for soldiers out there.
And it's a learning process, whether it's the actual writing itself or the stepping out of the comfort zone.
But all Josh wanted to do was win the game.
He was a son, a brother, a friend, and a husband.
These aren't just stories about soldiers.
There's still people there, and I definitely think it's easy for them to be forgotten.
They are stories about the students too.
He was 1 year older than me, and he lost his life.
And I'm really glad everyone in my class did it.
I mean, that's why we go to college. We go to college to grow up.
Joshua was a goofball, athletic and sweet.
He was a great man who will be forever remembered.
Because when all is said and done, I cannot imagine that there is, nor will there ever be another human being like David Sanka.
With photojournalist Corky Scholl,
Or as Evans used to say, it's all good, Hua.
Nelson Garcia, 9 News.
Yeah! I go first!
How do you measure love?
Good job, Kayelynn.
Oh, money! Money!
How do you measure perseverance?
Oh,
For 11-year-old Kayelynn Nieto, to be out with her family takes more than you might possibly imagine.
Drink. If we go somewhere, nothing is spontaneous.
The Road for Us starts July 17th on the 1-hour drive from Roxborough to Children's Hospital in Aurora.
We run right across I-25, 225, in the busiest times they can have.
Michael Nieto
We're always on edge.
and his wife Julie have made this trip 53 days in a row to keep Kayelynn company.
She's our daughter. Doesn't matter how.
When they adopted her 10 years ago,
She was a 7-month-old little girl, but she weighed 10 pounds and 4 ounces.
they had no idea that Kayelynn suffered from rare nervous system disorders
A hereditary sensory autonomic neuropathy.
that only 30 people have ever had.
So we spend our life in the car.
But this trip to Children's is the one trip to take her home.
She says she wants to come home, and we want her home. But we're scared. Is it good to be home?
Yes, it is.
Kayelynn has been separated from her family. 2 older brothers born to Michael and Julie,
I bet your dolls are up there.
and her biological sister Jessie, also adopted by the Nietos.
Happy to have your sissy home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep their home at 61 degrees in the middle of summer. They're keeping Kayelynn cool with vests full of ice packs.
And she wears this in order to keep her body temperature cool. Good job. Keep going.
And cold water because her body cannot regulate temperature.
So that was like 30 right there.
We have become her nervous system.
Kayelynn cannot sweat, and she can overheat quickly.
All right.
So her parents have to blast the AC
So I can check your temp now?
and monitor her
Yeah. Okay.
every 20 minutes.
She is at risk of heat stroke multiple times every day. Drink.
But can they keep this up?
We don't want her growing up in a hospital. It's not a fun place to be.
No, it isn't.
No, it's not.
Can they keep Kayelynn safe at home?
It's a lot of work, but she's worth it. Cheers. Cheers.
6 weeks later, the hot summer sun has made life tough for the Nietos.
When you were out here a month ago, we had made it only 48 hours.
48 hours before Kayelynn was back in the hospital again.
99 even.
Ooh, you're hot, girlfriend.
Keeping Kayelynn cool is not just about keeping her alive. It's about keeping her calm.
As a spinning ballerina.
She also has several mental health issues stemming from birth.
Drug exposure, abuse of all kinds, fetal alcohol syndrome.
It's okay.
She has a whole conglomeration of issues that she has to deal with.
Wherever they go, they plug in a cooler to maintain ice packs for Kaylynn's vest. But after just a few frames of bowling
Ow, 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 ow.
All right, we got to change out your ice. You're already hot.
and bothered,
I just want to do the candy machine. No.
and she starts to unravel.
With Kayelynn, although she's 11 years old, developmentally she's 5.
At home,
I usually get out of control like normal.
it can get much worse.
And then what happens when you get out of control?
I start hurting people.
Because of the conditions that our daughter is living with the medical, the genetic, and these mental health challenges, she lashes out in a domestically violent way. You're okay.
I get out of control because I'm hot and I'm angry at the same time. You're welcome.
Like, I love her to death, but I don't like it when she hurts my mom.
She also cannot feel pain, a condition that has sent her to the hospital numerous times with injuries she didn't even know she had.
This includes hitting, kicking, screaming. She's destroyed her door to her room.
My mom's in danger, I'll step in. I'll hold Kayelynn down. I mean, I've dealt with multiple things that most people are like, that actually happened to you.
I just have to believe that she's not hurting me because she doesn't love me or that she hates me, even though she says she does.
With the violence, with the endless trips to the hospital and its financial burden.
And we get unbelievably frustrated. I mean, we get down, broken down.
With siblings who need parents too.
Well, I kind of feel like, in the middle of upset and, angry. Because, she gets more attention than I do.
One very important question has come up for this family.
They have said, fairly bluntly, have you considered giving her up and turning over the state?
It's been suggested multiple times.
Should they keep Kayelynn at all?
Sometimes we just sit on the floor and cry because I don't know what the future is.
The state could provide for all her needs
All right, zip her up.
by putting Kayelynn in a hospital 24/7.
We can't just give up on her like that.
I mean, all I can say to them is shame on them.
I love her more than anything else.
So it's asinine for us to even think about the option of giving her back. She's our daughter.
That's why being out with the family
Good job, Kayelynn.
is not routine. It's special.
Wow.
We are a very strong family. And I really feel like we were meant to have her.
It's my turn.
So much of our time together as a family in the last many years has been in a hospital this is the stuff that keeps us going.
How do you measure love?
That was good.
They measure it every minute of every day.
We don't take family time for granted.
With photojournalist Michael Driver, Nelson Garcia, 9 News. Some days, history is made.
On September 19th, 1777.
Some days, history is lived.
This is to simulate Bemis Heights at the Battle of Saratoga.
If this could be extended down.
Daryl Osborne is part coordinator.
I'm just trying to make the fort kind of bigger.
Part movie producer.
I'll lift this up.
Putting together a reenactment of the Battle of Saratoga.
Was the turning point battle of the Revolutionary War.
With hundreds of people.
There are actors for this day, and actors have to step into somebody else's shoes.
Hundreds of 5th graders.
Order!
Sam Stahl is an American soldier. Joel Luciano is a British one.
Right face!
Normally.
March!
They're good friends at Hackberry Hill Elementary in Arvada.
Gonna have the Americans attack the fort.
Really excited and a little bit nervous.
On the battlefield,
Because this is the first time I've ever done this and I don't really know what's gonna happen.
they're mortal enemies. Fire! Osborne runs a nonprofit called You Can Live History. He and the school teachers.
A surprise attack British route thing going on down there.
Yeah, because that's what they did in the Battle of Saratoga.
Yeah.
They want students to experience history, not just read about it.
And learning it from a textbook can be boring at times.
We actually feel like soldiers because we're actually doing the battle.
Right!
That is,
Right! Face!
if Osborne can get them to listen.
Okay, most of them got it.
I'm confused. What do we do?
Some days,
You'd be surprised how well they'll listen. You just wait and see.
history is like herding 5th graders.
Oh my God, just step on my head, why don't you?
Mr. Osborne did not order that attack. It's a cross between tightly organized and totally chaotic.
And necessarily violent.
They are kids with guns.
But we're gonna use our gun barrels like this.
They shoot out just flour,
So I can shoot. Shoot.
but the kids play dead.
As I was jumping into the fort, I got bayoneted. So like, ugh.
Sam and Joel's parents are okay with it.
And they're guns that they don't see every day. They don't see them on TV.
I don't think it's necessarily something that would lead to violence.
It's a completely different thing, and they understand that they're play acting.
But then I slipped, and I pretended that I had died. It was awesome.
And I was hit in hand-to-hand combat with a person with a bayonet, and an officer came over and stabbed me with their sword, and I was like, no.
What we're doing is teaching kids history in a way that they'll remember and they'll love it, and that's a positive thing.
Some days, history is unforgettable.
They'll learn something that they'll take with them all their lives.
I think it makes it more real to them that a lot of people did die, and that's why we have the freedom we have today.
We do have critics, but they are all people who don't know anything about what we're doing or how we're doing it.
With photojournalists Chris Hansen and Corky Scholl.
Yeah, then we're friends and we go back to school.
Nelson Garcia, 9 News.